breakfast with someone in our community, and this week we're sitting down with the superintendent of the East Moline School District. It's facing some funding challenges, but there's also a lot of exciting things happening for students. Jessica is having breakfast with Mr. Kristen Humphreys this morning at the East Moline Coffee Company. Jessica?
Yes, Angie, we are going to be talking about some of the awesome things that the East Moline School District is going to be doing this year. And part of the reason why you guys were able to do mainly some construction to the building is because of the taxpayers approving a local option sales tax, right? So what are some of the fun things that are going to be benefiting from that sales tax?
Yeah, thanks. We're just at the beginning of that. We've gotten some big projects done. We've done about $19 million actually in work the last 2 summers. All of our buildings are now updated. We've got new windows, lighting, and air conditioning in all of our buildings that's been updated with new to bring us energy efficiencies. These are things that were severely needed to happen because our windows were original in many of our buildings going back to the 50s and 60s.
Needed an update, yeah.
Yeah, and like a good homeowner, those are the first things we would take care of in our home as well. And in the future, we plan to put that to work on some 21st century learning environments for our students as well.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of the sales tax, I want to get to a viewer question that we had regarding this. So Lucas asked, now that you're getting additional state money and the additional 1% sales tax, are you going to lower your tax rate for property taxes? He goes on to say that the burden for his property taxes are getting pretty unbearable. So
yep, Lucas is right. Right now, the state of Illinois, the problem is bigger than East Moline or Rock Island County. The state of Illinois contributes about 26% toward education in the state, compared to the national average of 46%. Now the state funding formula has been changed, and now that, thank goodness, our taxpayers wanted to invest in our schools and pass the local option sales tax, those two things are really going to change things for taxpayers in East Moline in particular, because with the local option sales tax on the tax levy last December, we already lowered the levy by a nickel on the life safety money. That's money that we can levy for taking care of our buildings. We promised our taxpayers that we were going to lower that down to zero, that levy, because the local option sales tax gives us more money and we need to offer more relief for our property tax owners.
Okay.
With the state giving us more funding coming up in the next few years for our students, that will also lower the burden. Unfortunately, in the state of Illinois, the state has shifted their burden to the local property tax owners, and that's just not fair. They are taxed too much, and one of our goals is we're going to be pushing that tax rate down over the next few years, and we're excited about it.
Awesome. Well, another goal that you guys are really focusing on is the attendance initiative with superintendents all over. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a big issue, and we've worked with the United Way Education Council, and we're thankful for their support on this initiative. But right now, there's a lot of research out there that shows if we miss less than 5 days, it really helps student achievement. There are some risk factors when we look at students and whether or not at early ages, and we can tell you if they're going to have success graduating high school and going on to a trade school or college. One of those risk factors is student attendance. So it's very important that they're in class and learning, and we're pushing very hard and trying to have some incentives to say, we need you in school and we'll do whatever it takes to help your family get you here.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Superintendent Humphreys. We don't have time for all of the viewer questions, but we are going to be doing a Facebook Live, where we will be getting to those. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to kind of talk to Superintendent Humphreys and get to know him a little bit more as a person outside of his job. So for now, we're going to send this back to you.
That's important too. Thank you so much, Jessica. And just like Jessica mentioned, we do a special Facebook Live to show you the behind the scenes of our Breakfast with Conversations. That takes place right after Good Morning Quad Cities on the WQAD Facebook page. Next Thursday, we are having breakfast with the Chancellor of Eastern Iowa Community Colleges, Don Duchette. We're going to talk about the new urban campus being built in downtown Davenport, as well as answer any of your questions. You can submit those now at WQAD.com. Just type breakfast in the search box.